Hello friends, and welcome back to Cambriea and Bobby. I almost said living with Cambriea, that's what I'm used to saying. On our socials. You're gonna have him back there probably most of this video. Freya's sleeping, and Xander's at school, but you have to be quiet and behave. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. We'll see how long that lasts. But we put out on our socials asking you guys to ask us questions since I haven't done a Q&A in a really long time, and we've never done one together. So we thought this might be fun to do. We got a lot of questions though.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try and get through as many as possible without like dragging this out. Well, first question. So she asked what interest Bobby and I still share after 3 kids and years of marriage.
We enjoy watching some TV shows together. It's kind of weird, but we enjoy the Street Outlaws, Memphis, with JJ the Boss, and we watch a lot of HGTV to get ideas for decorating the house, and also they show so much of like people renovating and stuff like that that it just gives us more ideas for later, I guess.
Yeah. When we first got together, we played a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Neither of us are big, we've never been huge partiers, drinkers. We enjoy having people over for a bonfire and stuff. So we were both very much homebody type people. So yeah, watching TV shows, playing video games, hanging out with the kids.
And the games that we would play is Call of Duty Zombies. So the Black Ops 2 Zombies one, Black Ops 3 Zombies, and Black Ops 4 Zombies. So that's usually what we play together.
Where, when, and how did you two meet? So I guess this has to be answered in 2 parts. Because we were set up by a mutual friend. So for me, I just got out of a relationship and was just kind of bumming and not in a good mood. So our mutual friend Sarah set us up, and we started just by talking over the phone, not over the phone, Facebook. Right?
Sure. It was, so this was a while ago. It might have been MySpace.
It might have been MySpace.
I know that's obsolete now.
Yeah.
But yeah, MySpace, I believe, is what it was. And it wasn't even your name on MySpace. I was like, who's this person? What? So I'm like, I really hope this isn't a fake MySpace. And I had to confirm with our mutual friend, no, this is really her. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, MySpace, and you started going out. We went out on a date, and you had the intent of not even living here anymore.
No.
She was about to move to Florida. We went out on our first date.
Yeah, so we went out. Yeah, my intent was totally, I'm talking to my parents who had a house in Florida, and we're planning on retiring down there. They, as you guys know, they actually now live in Florida. So my plan was, because the housing market was so cheap, was to buy a condo with my parents because it was actually cheaper to pay a mortgage than rent. So we went out on our first date, and then I still went to Florida because I was planning on going down there house hunting.
It was 2 dates.
2 dates. During that time, you were on training.
Yeah, so we went out on 2 dates, and it was just like, all right, this girl is supposed to be like really like a match for me. And after talking and stuff online, we went out on 2 dates. But she was about to go to Florida, and I had to go to Utah for some MOS job training for the military, and I was going to be gone 5 weeks. So we're like, okay, let's just see where this goes, and if anything, we can still like talk on the phone, or I think instant messenger was still a thing back then.
Yeah. We talked for hours every single day while I was in Florida and he was in Utah. So needless to say, I came home. So it ended after, and I think that's kind of what made our relationship go quicker than most, is we had that time of just talking and really getting to know each other on a personal level, because there wasn't right away all the dating and normal stuff. This might be a very interesting thing. You have to behave. All right. Favorite family vacation? Florida.
Yeah, I would say Florida.
That's where we go. My parents have a house down there. It's easy, and we'll go to the parks and stuff. We like going down there because we don't pay for a hotel, and we drive down. We can spend more money at like going to the parks and going out to eat, because we're not spending how many hundreds on the like where you're sleeping.
Yeah, so that way, like, we eat all like the foods that you normally get, you know, when you're on the coast. So a lot more seafood, stuff that you can get up here, but you're definitely going to pay a premium. So
Can't get gator up here.
yeah, no gator.
We enjoy gator. Are you guys done having kids?
We were until like my concerns with kids were our first one, Xander. He was in the NICU for like
10 days.
10 days, okay. 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever. But he was in the NICU, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, that was interesting. Your first kid, you don't really know what to expect. But then this one was in the NICU for a month after having emergency surgery after he was born. So I really didn't want any more kids, because I was more so worried about, like, every time we had a kid, it was worse and worse as far as the after birth. So with Freya, her being actually able to come home with us, stop shooting. Her actually being able to come home with us, like, right away, I was like, maybe we can have like a healthy baby right out of the gates. And it was just a lot more streamlined, smoother, even amongst all the COVID-ness that was going on. And so to answer the question, number 4 is a possibility, but there is variables.
Well, and I think it also played a huge factor when, before YouTube and before he got deployed, I worked a full-time job, 40 to 50 hours a week. He was working 40 to 50 hours a week. So we had a lot of childcare expenses. So that also played into it. So after I went full-time doing this and can stay home with the kids, it's made a huge difference, which is why I think you agreed to having Freya, was I was home.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no time soon. We wouldn't even really try and figure that out for at least 2 years. That way my body has full time to recover, as well as babies are a lot of work, and I like to make sure each kid has that like mommy time, where if I had another kid right away, she's still going to be a baby and I'll have a newborn, and I don't want that.
We'd also not like to have 2 kids in diapers if we could.
If possible.
I mean, we've been so far pretty lucky with one getting out of diapers and then having a new one. So that's the way I'd like to keep it.
Yeah, I think that like 2.5, 3 year difference in ages is perfect because like Bjorn and Xander played great together and they're almost exactly 3 years apart. So if we could do something similar with her, I think that'd be perfect. How old are you guys? I'm 29.
I'm 37.
So, a little bit of an age gap. Where'd you get your love for cleaning? I don't love cleaning, I just love a clean house. Everyone asks that. I don't love cleaning, but like on days where I don't have enough time and there's laundry and stuff, one, I'm less productive the messier the house is. And two, I don't know, it frazzles me. I don't like having a dirty house. The room is not always organized. Ask my mom. My closet in my house growing up at my parents' house was usually trashed. My room was clean. Just don't look in my closet.
Well, your car was always dirty too. Now that she's got her new car, it's clean. But that's because it's our family car. So if we go somewhere, we're taking her car. So now she doesn't have a choice but to keep it clean.
Mm-hmm. She also asked if I grew up in a clean and organized home. I did. Yeah, my mom always kept the house real nice. Are you still doing keto? Share more recipes. And how much weight have we both lost? Yes-ish.
Yes-ish at the moment. So we stopped. Well, I stopped doing keto because I didn't have a choice. I was doing a lot of stuff for the military, and it was hard to stay on that because they
provide meals.
And what the issue is they provide healthy-ish meals, but not to sustain keto. So the amount of meat or green vegetables that they provided in a meal was not enough to sustain. So it was either I ate like very sparingly because that's all there was, or I just stopped it and actually just ate. And so I haven't restarted it yet 100%, and I think we probably should, because then once Thanksgiving hits, it's probably going to go out the window again.
Yeah.
But to answer how many pounds, I've lost 15. And since I stopped doing keto, so for the past couple weeks, almost 4 weeks, I've only put back on 2.5 pounds. So, you know, I heard that if once you stop keto, you'll see like your weight bounce up like quick. But I haven't really noticed that because we've been trying to do keto-ish in the interim. So I don't know.
But definitely starting it back up.
Yeah, at least for a couple weeks.
I was still trying to stay keto, but when he's not home, I honestly don't focus as much on making like a huge meal because I'm usually fighting with the boys to get them to eat it in the first place. So I often will just like make something quick and easy when he's not home. I have lost, now, mind you, I just had a baby, but since having Freya and starting keto, I've lost 45 pounds. What has marriage and kids done to your relationship? It's just changed it. Not made it better or worse, I don't think. It's just different than when we first met.
Well, yeah. I think kids change every relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go and do the exact same stuff you did before you had kids, I don't know how that works. There's too many possibilities for interruptions.
Well, and also just age. When we met, I was 18.
Yep.
You were 20.
Well, you were like 18 turning 19.
Yeah. I was still... I had a good couple months till I was 19. We met in the fall. I don't have my birthday till February.
Yeah. I guess by the time we actually started, like, going out dating after you came back from Florida and I came back from training, I mean, it was like 4 months, just under 4 months. But yeah, All right, so she was 18. She was like 18 and a half.
So obviously what we did in our young 20s is different from 30, upper 20s, almost 30.
For sure.
Halloween costumes. I don't have a Halloween costume.
I do.
So you have these YouTube families that are really cute. Like Brianna did, if you guys don't know Brianna K, her and her family did the Tiger King, which was awesome. Both the kids were dressed as tigers. She was dressed as Carol Baskins, and her husband was the Tiger King, and they did a whole like skit on Instagram. It was super cute. We're not that family.
No, absolutely not. So I try to do Halloween and dress up because we do go trick-or-treating with the kids. More recently, though, we haven't like done like a lot, like the full-blown, hey, let's go trick-or-treating, because we've been hosting Halloween at our house, so we hand out candy more. So I still dress up for that. Like last year, I was a Mr. Macy's from, dang it, now I can't even think of the name.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Like my favorite show. Rick and Morty. So I was a Mr. Macy's, and I was handing out candy, and the boys went trick-or-treating with my parents around the neighborhood, so then that way they didn't have to spend the whole time handing out candy, which Bjorn loves handing out candy because it gave him a chance to talk to like over 200 people.
And he loves talking.
So this year's costume is, it's like it's multiple things roped into one. It's American Pride, so U.S. Pride.
Figured it was fitting for an election year.
Yeah, exactly. And then with zombies.
Wait, what does your mask say?
It says United States of Zombieland.
Because we're still gonna have masks, so
yeah,
might as well
still
make the
masks.
mask fun. And the boys are going to... Bjorn, what are you going to be this year? Sans. Roblox.
From Undertale?
Undertale?
Yeah. Some
they get it.
show.
I had to
video
Google
game.
how to figure out what they were going to be.
We pieced together his costume, and we still got to make the mask for it, so the boys will be protected. But yeah, we gotta. When it comes to the mask, we've been actually like designing and drawing and doing stuff on white or black cotton mask.
Mm-hmm. Any fears? I hate snakes.
Why?
I don't like them. Like an irrational fear of snakes. I don't like snakes. My mom will always tell the story of the time in Florida they had the snake the size of about a worm in their house, and I grabbed their dog because they had a little rat dog, and ran into a wall because I was looking at the snake, making sure it wasn't following us, trying to get out of the room, and ran into a wall. Do not like snakes.
I don't know about fears. I always fear for this one getting hurt because he is accident prone.
Mm-hmm. Favorite hobby?
Favorite hobby? Cars.
And then I like anything artsy. Crocheting, painting, drawing, anything that has to that's artsy, I enjoy that. And
I like working on cars, collecting cars. Collecting little die-cast cars. I got a bunch of them. So, yeah, cars.
Coffee order. Venti white mocha with coconut milk. If it's iced, light iced. If it's hot, extra hot. And he gets raspberry.
Yeah, pretty much the same order, but add the raspberry.
Yeah. It's always 2 venti white mochas, coconut milk, extra hot, 1 with raspberry. Because, yeah. Did I work before marriage? I worked all the way up until about 2 years ago. He got deployed in 2018, and I stopped working shortly after you left. I think it was, you left in July. And
You stopped working when
September.
Xander went to school.
Yeah, when Xander, because he started kindergarten that year. And figuring out childcare and how much I was making, it didn't make sense. But before his deployment, like I said, I worked 40 to 50 hours a week. I worked a full-time job. It wasn't till I started my channel because I had nothing better to do. It wasn't anything other than I was bored because he was gone. And once he got home, I never went back to work. So.
Well, that and like with childcare, you would take the kids to my parents' house. My parents live over an hour away. So what she would do is she would drive an hour to drop off the boys.
Which is fine because I work near there.
And then drive, 15 minutes from their house to go to your work?
Yep.
So when you add all that up, you're in the car, or her driving one way, you're easily an hour, 15 minutes, hour, 20 minutes times 2.
Yeah, and then once Xander started school, it was impossible because I would have had to get Xander to school, Bjorn to his parents' house, me to work, and I worked 4 days a week, 12-hour days. So I had to try and find someone who could pick Xander up from school. We also tried to find someone that could watch Bjorn in town and pick Xander up, and we couldn't figure it out. And he made more money overseas, honestly, so we could afford for me to stay home. But if he didn't make more money overseas, and currently now, if YouTube hasn't been such a blessing for our family, I would be working 40 to 50 hours a week still. Well, I do, but out of the house.
Yeah, you work that much in the house.
I just do it from home now. And probably more, because now I have to do all the stay-at-home mom stuff and run a business.
Yes.
Well, we asked that one, how much weight have we lost? What did you study? I never went to college. I've done sales my whole life.
I went to school for computers, like computer support. I don't do any of that, though. After I came back from my first deployment, I got a job with the cable company as an installer, repair tech, and pretty much just advanced through that. Went to a regional operations center department where now I dispatch techs to go fix all the line problems. So like, if your cable's out for the whole area, then I would send a tech and be like, okay, hey, this is what's wrong, or yeah, go look at this. So I talk to a lot of techs and I make a lot of tickets, trouble tickets to go get stuff fixed. And now that we have the second biggest cable company, or I work for the second biggest cable company in the US, so jobs and areas that we cover, I cover multiple states.
Yeah.
So.
Without disclosing anyone. So this is to do with my Hoarder Series. If anyone rubbed me the wrong way or just gave me bad vibes working at their house, I wouldn't say like bad vibes. I've never felt like in danger helping someone, but I will say there have been people that I've helped that I'm like, they're really going to benefit from this. After helping them, I could tell their mentality had changed and they were going to keep up with it. One of them being his friend, Chris. It also helps he's got a girl in his life now.
Yes.
But there's others that by the time I left, I flat out told him and came home, I'm like, it's going to be a wreck by next week. And that's really sad. But that's just kind of what happens when you're trying to deal with people that do have those hoarder mentalities. A lot of people say I didn't do Hoarders because it wasn't like the TV show, but it's a mindset, and pretty much everyone I worked with, his friend still has trouble with the whole letting things go and over collecting. Sometimes people are at that point where they want to change and they need to change. And I've only ever been to one place that was really bad, that had the bugs and the moldy food and all of that, and I ended up telling her family they should probably get her help because I'm not a therapist.
You have to want to change, and a big motivator, at least for my friend, was love. So he loves his fiance now, and she's really cleaned up the house and made him get rid of a lot of stuff. not that she's taking over, but she motivated him to get rid of stuff. And there's only so much we can do to motivate. Like, we go over and we're like, dude, we got to go through this. We got to go through this. And we did. We got rid of a lot of stuff. But now they're looking to start a whole new chapter in their life. So they're cleaning their house and getting it fixed up so they can sell it and buy a together forever home. So
that's more kids. We already answered that one. Motivation to stay organized. Like I said before, I just like living in a clean and organized place. You're the same way. You like even though like the garage, when you see it, it looks like a lot of stuff. He is very organized in his stuff.
I see more room.
Yeah. Even like his clothes, like in the videos you see me folding them, but I always set them to the side for him to put away because he puts everything away a very specific way. So I'll fold it and then he'll come back and put, I don't know, he's got his shirts all organized to like what? Cars, military. Categorized. So yeah, I don't put his stuff away.
Military, and then I got Rick and Morty. I got a whole bunch of Rick and Morty shirts. That's just its own section.
What's it like living so publicly? Do you ever feel uncomfortable sharing some things? Do you and your family enjoy it? Do you ever get recognized by people, and what was that like? I don't mind living publicly. We were actually talking about this the other day. I don't know if I would ever agree to a TV show for the pure fact of you guys see a sliver of our life. So yes, we're public, but we're not at the same time. If my kid's having a meltdown, I'm not going to share stuff like that. So that makes it a lot easier. We have full control over what you see. We try and be as real as possible, but at the same time,
nobody wants to see a kid crying.
Yeah.
Because they're having a fit.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it, and I got to be here.
So we don't mind that. I enjoy it. The kids really enjoy it. The kids think it is so cool. And I'm getting recognized. So I've been recognized, but I've never had someone come up to me. I've gotten messages after the fact being like, I saw you at Home Goods in Delafield at this time. And I'm like, yep, that was me. If you ever see us out in public, feel free to come up and say hi. And I might be a little awkward just because I'm definitely a shy introvert. I've talked about that. Which I know is weird for YouTube, but I don't know. Being more open in this way is different than like in person, but I also would think it's really cool if someone did come up and say hi. You guys have talked about wanting to buy land to build a home. What are some must-haves in a custom-built property? So we've been slowly making a list of things. We originally thought this was our forever home. But, so our last house was smaller in square footage, but in living space was actually bigger than this house. Where this house is bigger is our master bedroom's bigger than our last house. Obviously we have a third bedroom, we have a master bath, but our last house actually had a living room, family room, dining room, and an eat-in kitchen, but it was only a 2-bedroom and a 1.5 bath. And
it was also a ranch.
And it was a ranch. So we had a huge basement.
Yeah, like storage area, game area. We had a movie theater area set up. Now, it wasn't finished or anything, but it was so much bigger.
That we could section it off. So one big thing is we would prefer a ranch in our next house. And just space, storage space. I really want a walk-in pantry. That's a big deal for me. I know he really wants more garage space.
I want at least 3-car garage. I'd prefer, if I can't have 3-car garage, I would like 2-car attached and maybe do a 2-car detached. So I can work on the Camaro, since that's a project, and I kind of held off on doing more stuff to the Stinger because it is my everyday driver in the summer, spring, fall. But yeah, I would like to start doing more stuff to that again, but I kind of hold off because it's still relatively new and low miles. So I drive the beater a lot, especially when it's bad weather. So
yeah, we've also said, so if we build and it's a 2-story, because we have talked about that, I would want like a story and a half, so that the main living area is still very open concept like we have now, but that portion's a 2-story ceiling. I love tall ceilings, and then the kids' rooms would be upstairs with hopefully like an open loft for them, and then a master downstairs, because our goal is our next house would be our forever house. Now, you never know, you move in and you realize, oh shoot, I wish we had this, but it's our goal.
I would say a lot of the houses that, I mean, just to get ideas that we looked at were a lot of ranches, but also it's just the ranch because I have bad knees, so going up and down the stairs is
just getting older.
Is just not good for me. So if we do a 2-story, we would have to have a master on the first level, and hopefully the kids just keep their rooms clean so I don't have to go upstairs, I guess.
Pretty much. How long have we been married? We celebrated 10 years this July. And then this one's for you. What is your MOS in the Guard? What made you join the military? And then the last is, where did the kids' names come from? So
I joined the Wisconsin Army National Guard before 9/11. So yeah, a long time ago. So I joined that. I have 3 MOSs. My current one that I...
What's an MOS for people that don't know?
Oh, yeah, MOS. It's your military job. So what is your main job in the military, or your specialty? So mine's 25 uniform is the current one I'm running under. I also started off as a different one, but as the needs of the Army change, I had to change. So that's why I go to that school that went after I met her. That was me going to get a new job. So but yeah, it's 25 uniform, signal systems support specialist. So I deal with all the communications and electronics. So I do a little bit of everything, but primarily now with my current position, I do a lot of admin stuff and managing training and soldiers. So I do dabble a little bit because we are shorthanded, and until they give us some new troops, I'm kind of filling in for some of the open vacancies.
What made you join?
Oh, what made me join? Okay, so originally I joined for 2 reasons. One, a challenge, because I thought, hey, I can do that. And I was really into like guns back then. And I'm like, well, the military's got guns. So that was one reason. 2, they were going to give me money, so that was awesome. Not only money in my pocket, but also money for college. So I used all that money they gave me in my pocket and bought car stuff or computer stuff. And the money they gave me for college, I did go to a university for a little bit, found out university is not really for me. So then I went to a tech school, and right before I was about to graduate, I ended up getting deployed. So when I came back, trying to go back to school and work full-time, because then I got a full-time job at the cable company, it didn't mesh well. And my professors worked with me and allowed me to, come and go to class as much as I could, but with my schedule being a variable schedule, it was very hard. And I ended up not really ever getting a degree, but you know, things kind of still worked out. My job doesn't require a degree. You actually just do training, and they have like schools that you can do to progress in the company, and you can use those credits as well. But also the military gives me a lot of college credits because of the various training that I get to do. But I don't know. I think it's worked out pretty well. I mean, I still was able to meet her.
All right, the kids' names. So, Xander, originally, I just wanted to name him Xander. And I first heard the name from Buffy. But there was other people that we heard it, that we liked that name.
We wanted to give him a powerful name.
Strong name. Yeah.
Strong name. And what name do you hear throughout history? Alexander the Great. So, king, leader. So that's kind of where we got that from, is like, hey, let's give him a strong name. And then when it comes to Bjorn is
named after a king as well.
a Viking king.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we went with his name, is we are keeping the theme of strong leaders and kings. So hopefully they grow up to be strong leaders.
And then we actually kind of did the same with Freya. Freya is named after a Nordic god. Freya was the god of love and fertility. Plus, we heard it on some shows. But we really... Ooh, it's
kind of getting blurry.
There
we go.
So once again, a very strong, powerful woman's name. So that's where all the kids' names come from. We answered how we met, but how long did we date before we got married? So we met in
beginning of October
2009, and we were married end of July 2010. It went fast. But I will say, not only did we know it was right away, first time I met his dad, didn't he basically ask when you were going to propose?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well, he knew. He could tell. I guess I never expressed or showed something that he knew with any of my exes. So, I don't know. He knew, and then...
my mom knew.
Her mom knew, and then when I went and asked her dad for permission, he kind of played that little bit of hesitation, but he was just like, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. So, it was just one of those things of, it was right, everyone knew. My mom literally, when she saw me, because she was currently living in Florida, so she came up for Christmas, and she pulled me to the side and said, you better figure out if you love this boy or not, because he's going to ask you to marry him.
Yeah. Well, they invited me to Christmas, which apparently
doesn't happen.
Not
so much with my mom and dad Christmas, but Christmas with my grandmother and my aunts and uncles, you don't come unless you're married. So that was a big deal. And then love at first sight. I don't believe in love at first sight. I think it lust at first sight. But I will say, after the first date, I knew I really, really liked him. He was the first guy in a long time that opened doors and was that.
I didn't try any funny business.
Yeah, that's true. We went out to eat, and then we went back to his house to watch a movie, and he didn't try anything. And that was unusual. Y'all remember when you were dating, most guys, especially if you went back to their house, just the two of you, they would have tried something, and he didn't try anything. So right there, he caught my attention just because he was different than any other guy I dated. Love at first sight?
I would say I thought you were hot.
Back to lust at first sight.
Back to lust. But I would say after 5 weeks of talking on the phone daily and getting to know each other, then I think when we actually did start like dating consistently, it pretty much progressed really quickly. So as far as like, yeah, I pretty much knew. I can't remember when. I was just like, all right, so we gotta figure out this whole proposal thing. Yeah. I mean, it came fairly quickly.
Yeah, it happened. It all happened really fast. So, okay, this one I kind of find funny because this is what a lot of people think.
What?
Yeah, the question is with Bobby. With Bobby being military, is he more strict with the boys? Meaning wanting things organized and things like that. Like, are you more strict? And I think I'm more strict.
She's more strict
than he is. I'm usually the one that's like, no, stop. Like, I make the kids say yes, ma'am, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
he's more laid back.
I'm more laid back, but I guess because in the military I'm used to dealing with adults, but they kind of all act like kids. So I don't know. I try to treat everybody as adults, but when it comes to kids, you treat them as kids, not adults. So I'm not as strict with the boys, and we like to have fun together and not be so strict. Obviously, I still want them to do their chores and clean their room and all that stuff, but I'm not gonna treat them like a drill sergeant.
Yeah, it's not like what people, I think, expect from military, where it's like, I don't know.
I try to keep the military separate. I keep it at work, and I don't bring it home. However, you will find me working a lot on stuff for the military at home because that's part of training and keeping things current.
And then, so I got a lot of questions about my Hoarder series. And everyone always asks, am I going to do it again? Am I going to do it again? The hope is yes, but like, I don't have times or dates or anything because with COVID right now, and having a newborn that still eats every 2, 3, 4 hours, it's just not even possible. I have like considered possibly doing something where my brother works for apartment complexes and he's cleaned some nasty apartments. But then I'm not dealing with people. But even that, with having Freya, I wouldn't do it right now. Just for a time reason. Having to be home with her, feeding her, and all of that. So, hope is yes, but there's no, like, time frame of when. Because we also don't know when COVID's going to go away. Like, some people say...
It's at an all-time high right now in our state. Yeah. So, to try to do anything with anybody outside of your intermediate family is just not a good idea. But then also, you want your milk supply to go as long as possible.
Yeah.
And we've had it before when she worked, her milk supply stopped so much quicker
if I'm not
for
home.
The boys.
Yeah. And as you can see with him coughing, he deals with asthma and a bunch of other stuff. But
he's a little medically challenged.
It doesn't take much. Like any cold, he's got a cold right now, and his breathing's messed up. So we are more strict with hoping to not bring it into the house, for his sake. For me and Bobby, not worried about it. For Xander, not worried about it. But Freya isn't even 2 months old yet, and he does have breathing concerns, so COVID really has to be, like,
done.
Not an issue.
Yeah.
Even if it's not done, but they at least know how to, there's medication for it. And
a legit
all
vaccine.
Yeah, legitimate. So, if you weren't going to help clean homes, what would you clean? that question I was kind of confused about because I clean my house still. But if you mean other than my house, like I said, possibly like old apartments that people were renting but don't know how to clean. My brother literally today was using a 4-inch scraper and industrial grease cleaner to clean the floor in a kitchen. Not the appliances, the floor. And he had a pile of grease. He obviously showed me because he knew I'd like enjoy the before and after of it. So I have considered that because I think it would be very satisfying to see some of these nasty
She loves
places.
before and afters.
I do. Oh, this one. Would we adopt, and do we have names if we would adopt?
We always have names
Yeah.
on deck.
The adoption thing, so I am all for adoption. I think it is awesome. Growing up, my parents did foster care for many years, so we always had foster kids in our home. My youngest sister is actually adopted. However, we have only ever considered it once, and it was to help a friend who ended up not needing our help. But otherwise, we can have kids, so we just go down. There's a lot that also goes into adoption. I think a lot of people think it's a really cool idea but don't do enough research on it. Being someone that is fairly educated on it because of having an adopted sister and doing foster care and seeing the process of kids coming in and out of our house and all of that thing, it is a great thing, and it is for people that want it. It is really good, but it's also a lot of work and can be stressful on a marriage. It can be stressful on other kids in the house. Like, I always tell people, make sure you do your research on it, because it's an amazing thing, and I think more people should adopt, but it is not for everyone.
Oh, the names. Like, we
Names.
have names ready. Like, she's always had Freya for a girl name. We didn't have to use it until now. And we do have at least another boy name ready.
Don't say it. We're not saying any of the names.
No.
Because if we have another baby...
I don't know, do we have a girl's name? I don't think we do have another girl's name.
No, because... Well, so... We, for a while, thought we were done at 2. And then we really thought we were done at 3 to a point where I was considering getting my tubes tied. And now we're seriously considering a 4th. I love kids. I've said this since the beginning. I would have as many kids as my body would allow. But I don't... He's not that into that. And the 4th will be our last. Because they do not recommend more than 3 C-sections. And guaranteed that one would be a C-section. I'm not trying to...
So medically, 4 is max. Would there be the chance of then adopting? I don't know. But, I mean, we both come from bigger families. So...
Yeah, there's 5 kids in my family. 5 in his family.
5 in mine.
We both come from big families.
And then from, like, my mother's side, there was 11 of her. She's got 11 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And my dad's side, small. There was just him and his sister. But, I don't know, our family is just, I don't know, it's very important and very big. I didn't think we were going to have this big of a family.
And our goal always is, we stopped at 2 because at that point in our life, we knew we could give enough love and attention to 2 kids. We then had Freya because...
She wanted a girl.
It wasn't just because I wanted a girl. I wanted a 3rd baby no matter what. But with me being home, I could dedicate more to the kids. And it will be the same with the 4th. If we are at a position where I feel like no kids being left out and they're still getting all the attention and the ball's not being dropped somewhere, we'll have a fourth.
And obviously it depends on medical. If something comes up that says you can't have another kid, then
yeah,
it is what it is. But we have to try to be responsible about how many kids we have, but also we don't want to jeopardize her health.
Yep. Okay, this one I kind of find funny. It's if you and I were to swap lives, how would we feel? And I find that funny only because before YouTube and before his deployment, we both lived pretty much the same life. I worked 4 days a week, 12-hour days. When I was home, I took care of the kids in the house. And he did the same thing. When he was home, he took care of the kids in the house and worked for 12-hour days. So
I don't think she could handle the military. At least the old military. The new military, she'd be fine.
True.
Old military, they yelled a lot. She wouldn't like it.
No, I'd probably get really annoyed and cry. Because when I get pissed off, I cry. I don't yell and scream. I get emotional.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone asked to see our wedding picture in our room, as well as the one downstairs in the hallway. This one I can grab real quick because we're up here.
So, and yes, those clouds are real.
Yes.
We got so lucky on the dates that we got married.
It poured in the morning,
Oh, there was a flood the day before.
and then it was literally like picture perfect clouds. And this is at Lake Michigan.
Yeah, it's on Lake Michigan.
And then I will take a picture of the one downstairs and insert it for you guys to see. But just kind of tell you what that is. So
I guess it's which one downstairs? Is it the one where we had everybody sign the photo at our wedding? Or, because they were saying something about the hallway.
I've showed the hallway ones. Those are the ones. So the hallway ones are, oh, there it goes. The hallway ones are like more memorabilia shots. So it's back when I did modeling and back when he was in like track and field in high school. The other one is we didn't have a signature book at our wedding. We had one of the first pictures we ever took together on a canvas.
At a club.
I was at a club. On a canvas, and everyone signed it.
So, was at a club? I have to look at the picture.
I was one of my runway shows.
Oh, yeah. Then it was at a club.
Yeah.
So, back when, before we were married, obviously we went out and we went clubbing or whatever. And then it kind of turned into house parties at my house, which was a lot of fun. But after we got married, then, you know, that kind of all went down because we just I still like going out, you know, with my friends and stuff, but I don't go out like a ton. If I went out once a week, I would call that a lot. So if we go out once a month, I would say that would be what we do nowadays. Because, I mean, mainly we just like enjoying our time together at home and with the kids, but I still like going out with the guys.
Well, we also think it's important to still have that separate time. Like, neither of us go out a ton, but I will still go out and have a mom's night and go out and have dinner and hang out with my girls, and he'll still go out with the guys because you just need that in a relationship. Otherwise, you become codependent and
your girls nights going out turned into mommy nights going out.
Yeah, because a lot of the mommies still like to go clubbing, and I cut it off there. I'm not a clubber anymore. I will go to the melting pot, have a glass of wine, eat some food.
Mommy stuff.
And go home.
Yeah.
Or go to Pato. I have not gone to Pato, though, since you've been deployed. It's been over 2 years.
Well, that and a lot of your friends that you used to hang out with all moved
out of state. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What part of Wisconsin do you live in? She lives in Chicago. We live between Milwaukee and Madison. We're about an hour from Milwaukee and an hour from Madison.
Yeah, like 45 minutes, right in that area. Something like that.
Would we move out of state where it doesn't snow? Yes. We've
Every
talked about it.
winter, I say,
We're moving to
we need
Florida.
to move. We need to move somewhere.
Every winter and every time we visit mom and dad.
All
Every
right,
time
so,
we're down there, we're like, we could just stay.
Yeah. There is some other places I would be open to moving
Cover
to,
your mouth.
but for the most part, we really enjoy the East Coast.
Ow.
So I would say Southeast Coast is where we would move. But yeah, Florida. I've been to Georgia a couple times. I don't mind Georgia.
Yeah, we've considered Georgia.
Yeah.
But none of this would happen for 2 years at least. Our goal is in 2 years to be able to sell this, buy land, build a house. That's our goal. Not saying it's going to happen, but that's our goal. Where our children's names come from, we've mentioned that. But you asked if we were Scandinavian. So Bobby and I are true American mutts. His side has done the ancestry.
Yeah, so my aunt did do the ancestry and looked up stuff, and we had a general area where we knew we were from in Europe, but she actually went a bit further and did find out we do have, and it's probably just the smidgen at this point of Scandinavian. Otherwise, what we have more prevalent of in us in me is Polish, German, Irish, and Russian. But yeah, Scandinavian's very, very, very small.
Mm-hmm. And then on my side, so on my dad's side, I am only third generation American coming over from Poland. However, on my mother's side, more like my grandmother's side, they came over before the Mayflower. So we most likely came over as Irish slaves. And since we came over so early, we've really we've got everything on that side. We've never done this stuff, but just being over here in so long, it wouldn't be surprising if there's some Native American, obviously German, and just everything.
She's definitely Polish.
Definitely Polish. I admit to my Irish and Polish side, but there's a lot. Do you guys bathe the dogs with the de-shedding shampoo and conditioner? I guess she owns a dog business.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah, we get it
They
from...
still shed.
Yeah, we go to the pet store and we're like, hey, we have a Siberian Husky and a St. Bernard.
We even take them to the groomers to have them professionally done. It's just...
Yeah.
Someone commented the other day, and it was very accurate. The dogs shed twice a year. They shed... Oh, how'd she word it? Oh, and each shedding lasts 6 months.
Yeah. So Drake, we took to the groomer once. Never going to do that again. He doesn't like groomers.
Terrified.
Yeah.
Poor puppy.
And Bailey, he goes and he loves everybody and every dog. Yeah. So, but we've only taken him once, and that was because he needed a full gone through.
Yeah.
And that was, I think it was more spring, winter when we really couldn't do it ourselves. In summer, we do it ourselves. So I'll trim his nails. She brushes him. We really haven't had to trim him. We do a little bit of trimming.
We also hit it right when the major shedding started. So right before that huge summer shed, that's when we hit it.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do it again. That once to twice a year is what we try and do for them, but we try.
Yeah.
Does Bobby help you clean?
Yeah. Not as much as she does.
Yeah. So if people are coming over and
I clean.
We want the house clean, he helps a lot.
Whatever she forgets to do, that's usually what I do.
Yeah. But on a daily basis, no, but I'm home. I'm home with the kids. I have this channel. And he does everything outside. I don't cut the grass unless I absolutely have to because he's on training. I don't deal with snow unless I absolutely have to. I don't deal with dog poop. So there is a lot of things that, yes, I handle the inside, but he does all the stuff I don't want to do. Do we have long-term food storage? So this kind of goes back to us moving. We did in our last house, we had canned beans and carrots and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. My parents always canned growing up, so that was normal. There's no storage for that here. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say, well, if you didn't have so many decorations, we like our decorations. I will keep decorations over long-term storage. We have MREs. Don't that count?
We're not the holiday house for no reason.
But, no, we don't have any long-term food storage.
No, if we had more room, and I think it depends where you live. Because, yes, we have, stuff in a freezer, but obviously if you lose power, the freezer's no good. Yeah. But I think if we would live in the country more, like we live in a subdivision in the country.
Yeah.
So is there grocery stores nearby? Yes. In our town, there is 3 different grocery stores. And then you got your meat markets and all this other stuff. So to get food, you can. If we lived up north, not in, a subdivision or in like a super small town, then the idea would be to have enough room for storage to be able to do, all your canned goods and canning and all that type of stuff. Absolutely. So I think depending on where you live dictates what you need to be able to survive. So yeah, MREs, they're not great, but they'll do the job, at least short term, unless you stock a lot. I used to have a fair amount, but we just don't have the room, so I don't have all that. And then like I've had people ask that go hunting a lot, hey, do you still got some MREs? They're like, yeah, I got MREs, so I'll give them to my buddies and stuff like that. Or if people want to try them, which it's kind of funny, like you really want to try this? Like, I don't even want to eat them, But then again, I've eaten them for so many years, I don't want to ever eat them again.
So last question. It's, how do we make time for each other, and do we go on date nights? Not really. Special occasions we go on date nights because all of our family's an hour away. So to do that, we have to drive into town, drop the boys off, stuff like that. However, a lot of people mention the desk in our room, and how we should get it out and all this stuff. That's one of the ways we spend time together. He does a lot of work on that computer. So at night when he's working because the kids are in bed, I come up here and we sit and chat and hang out and watch TV and do stuff together. We try and make time when there's time to be made.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the desk in our room. I'm sure we could put it in the basement, but then we really would never have time together.
Yeah, we wouldn't see each other. We wouldn't be around each other. So that's the reason why we do it. Now, granted, if we get a new house, would it have a dedicated office? That'd be great.
But we'd still probably have something in our room.
But I don't know.
At least a laptop.
I don't know. But I could see us having an office together.
Yes.
Because like right now, her computer, it has like a little like mobile little stand that she'll either have downstairs or bring it up here or whatever. It'd be nice to have like a dedicated space for her. Because for the most part, unless I'm gone for military stuff, that's when I'll take my computer. But otherwise, like my desk has always got my computer set up, so she really doesn't use her computer up here except on her little stand. So if we had an office together, then yeah, because then she could do all the YouTube editing and stuff like that. I'm more of a provider of video, so I at some point I'm gonna have to learn how to do all the editing and stuff like that. Especially if this becomes more of like a big thing, then yeah, I'm gonna have to. But until then, it seems like she's got a pretty good grasp on it.
Yeah, honestly, I can do it faster right now, but yeah. I would like him to learn because it's a lot of work. And as y'all can see, he's good at talking. So it's always a lot of footage to go through. But that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope we answered all the questions and everything. So
yeah, don't forget, hit that like button.
Yeah.
Hit that bell.
Yeah.
So you know when we come back on. And subscribe.
all right, bye guys.
Bye.